that everyone is okay. If you can hear, look at my eyes, I've just woken up. If you can hear any loud noises, it's because I'm on the main road. Okay, I'm just explaining now because I don't want nobody coming on doing my nutting. I woke up in a bad mood. I'm not feeling well. So I thought, what do you do when you're not feeling well and you wake up in a bad mood, yeah? Studying, things like that, innit? Don't sit on your bum. But apart from studying and things like that, I've come across this video and I think it's about 3 months old. But I'm in shock. I'm in literal shock about this video. So what we're going to do today, everyone, yeah, is I'm going to be playing this video. It's called Where Do We Stop? And it's with Piers Morgan on slavery, reparations, and apologising for history. So I'm just going to play the video and then give you my reaction. And I hope that you enjoy it. So what I'm going to say is all my content is found on the public domain. I do operate using the fair use guidelines together with my own opinions, which are not necessarily true. This is just my opinion to a reaction. Right, are you ready? We'll jump straight into it. Welcome everyone as well. Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. It's the 6th, 7th of November. Right, hold on. I think this was when they were celebrating July the 4th, Independence Day. And to be fair, I genuinely, I'm not going to lie, I don't know nothing about Independence Day. Yeah? I'm guessing that's the day you have freedom. I live in England. And to be fair, it don't really matter to me. No offence, it don't. It's like, does everyone around the world celebrate everyone else's business? Nah. Standard, innit? But let's listen to this.
Well, today is of course the 4th of July. It's a day that America celebrates because they booted we British out. Our monarchy out, our mad King George dropped the ball. Otherwise, I would possibly be King Piers right now of the United States of America.
I hope you can hear me. I can't see if anyone's on here to see if you can hear me. There's never no one on here because I am shadow banned. Good. At least people in YouTube know the place, innit? You know where to stand when it comes to me. You don't fuck around. Yeah. Well, now we've got some people with sensitive ears, you know. You got feelings. No shit. Sherlock. Forgot you're the only one on earth. I know, I'm a bitch, innit? Deal with it. Right. Come on then, Piers. What you saying, Mush? Is this right turned up? Yep.
Well, today is of course the 4th of July. It's a day that America celebrates because they booted we British out. Our monarchy out, our mad King George dropped the ball. Otherwise, I would possibly be King Piers right now of the United States.
I think he meant with the King George be. I think it was King George people that wanted to stop slavery. But, you know, if you're black, you don't say that. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you my true feelings about what it's like being a black woman that's come from Jamaica. I can only tell you my feelings. I don't know about other black people. And that's one thing I do want to say about these Black Lives Matters people. You don't speak for me. Okay? You don't live no other person's lives. Seriously. And it's getting annoying and embarrassing.
Of America, so we don't obviously celebrate it with such enthusiasm over this side of the pond. But amid the hot dogs and fireworks, even this day of patriotic celebration in the States has become divisive. There's a growing trend for black Americans to celebrate Juneteenth as an alternative to July 4th. Veteran Congresswoman Maxine Waters in 2021 claimed the Declaration of Independence wasn't for equality and it was only for white men. Her comments were echoed by a fellow Democrat.
Wow, so well done.
People still are.
Cory Bush, I don't know who that is, says When they say that the 4th of July is about American freedom, remember this: the freedom they're referring to is for white people. The land is stolen land, and black people still on free. Really, Corey? Seriously? Can I just say, yeah, 4th of July, like I says, every person in every country, in every culture, in every religion, in every sex celebrates something. Why have you got a problem with everyone in America? Doesn't matter what colour you are, celebrating July the 4th. You're the one that thinks that July the 4th, Independence Day, is only for white people. Now, isn't that racist within itself? Because you obviously don't like white people. You think white people are the epitome of evil. I think people in general can be evil, don't matter what colour. Do you know what I mean? Standard. And let me tell you something as well. Anyone come on my channel, I mean, I've never been racist. Shut the fuck up. I've been racist, sexist, masochist, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, standard. I'm that bitch that will say anything that will piss you fucking off if you piss me off. And if that includes your colour, that's going to happen. I don't like when people tell fucking lies and pretend like they're holier than thou. You're not. No one is. Every person on God's earth has been racist. Admit it. When you admit it, you might feel better in yourself and realise, was I being racist because I genuinely didn't like that colour? Or was I trying to hurt that person? Think about it. The amount of times I've said racist names. I don't care about the colour. I just wanted to say to hurt that person. Standard. But yeah, July the 4th is not just for white people. In my eyes, I mean, I'm from Britain, and it's just stupid.
Well, free. So is there something in all this? Should these national institutions and occasions be opportunities for reflection and apology rather than celebration? Well, joining me now is best-selling author of The War on the West and conservative commentator Douglas Murray, country music legend Lee Greenwood, my Talk TV contributor Paula Rowan-Adrian, and Talk TV presenter Richard Tice. All right, well, a stellar panel.
None of them.
Douglas, let me start with you. You read a great piece this week for The Telegraph about this weird trend. I agree with you. I think it's weird.
What?
Where we're being compelled to just apologise constantly for everything that happened in the past. Why are we doing this?
Because you're
right.
idiots.
It's a very strange act of masochism, really, and an act of masochism carried out by people who don't seem to know anything. I mean, people talk about the British monarchy having to apologise for slavery. It was King George III who signed the Anti-Slavery Act into law in 1807. Prince Albert gave...
Oh, did you hear that? Really? I could go on about slavery, yeah? I know exactly what they're going to say, because I've... It's the same shit I'm going to say. I could go on about slavery. Slavery happens in every fucking country. It will always happen. There will always be someone above you. What you will call work, some people might call slavery. Now, what I call it is bad employment. There is people that will steal you and do shit. Tell the truth now, we call it trafficking. Back in them days, they called it slavery. Nowadays, we call it trafficking. We put a different word on it. But it's more or less the same shit. It happens all the time. Do you know what I mean? There will always be evil people in the world. Some of them don't give a fuck about your colour. And what you got to understand is a lot of Africans sold their own people. To this day, they're still fucking doing it. Now say something. Was it just black people that were sold? How about the Asians? Should we talk about them? How about the Irish? Should we pipe up about them? What colour are they? Mainly white, innit? Should we talk about the Italianos and that? Oh, what colour? No, we can't talk about none of them because they're not black. They're not black. Black people are building a rod for their own backs by playing victim. I ain't a victim. Don't embarrass me. Don't put me in that corner. I'm a strong person. I know exactly what people are doing. There's racism everywhere. It don't matter what fucking colour you are. Do you know what I mean? If someone don't like someone, they just say what the fuck they want to hurt you. And if there's a group of alpacas and there's only one cow, they're going to pick on the fucking cow. Think about it. Do you know what I mean? And if the carer's going to allow it, then that's your problem, not mine. But don't fucking sit there crying like a bitch when you're living in some fucking rich ass country. The country that you don't like. Why don't you go back to Africa then and shit like that? On the real? Why don't you go to name these I want Black Lives Matters to name these places that don't do slavery and then go there. Name them, go there. And who the fuck do you want the apology for off? Like, where, I don't know, what Piers is saying, where does it stop? I can't give a fuck about Piers Morgan or anything, because to be fair, do I think he's racist? I think he can be. I think he does think white people are above him. Alright, nobody wants to say it, but I do. Not above him, above, I think he thinks that white people are the higher race. And the more you got Black Lives Matters coming on his program, bleating on about being victims and should be apologising, the more it's turning people like him racist. You're playing into the fucking hands because you're a retard. Why are you playing victim? You talk about queens and kings, but you're acting like a fucking pauper. Shut the fuck up, yeah, get a grip. I've seen Asian families and that come to England, a lot of Indian people. They fucking buy corner shops to look after their families. Same with the Polish and everything. They don't fucking sit there crying like bitches. In fact, let me tell you something. I see African people coming to England with their fucking families and they work some of the hardest and roughest fucking jobs. Don't complain. They don't sit there chatting about racism. The only fucking people I ever hear chat about fucking racism are privileged black people that don't get their own fucking way. Or white people that are trying to fucking appease themselves, trying to make themselves feel good by going, I'm not racist and I really like black people and you know what I mean? Let's all stick up together. They like, couldn't give a fuck if black people got fucking killed. Shut the fuck up. Let's just be real. This channel's real.
Addresses when the British were still policing the anti-slave trade on the high seas in 1840 to the Anti-Slavery League in London.
Can I just say, who keeps popping in and out? If you don't want to watch the show, you don't have to watch the show, but you don't have to keep popping in and out. If you're going to pop in, say hi.
All of this was addressed 200 years ago. And today, unfortunately, there's a kind of new type of malcontent, and usually also a huckster to boot, who just decides that none of this happened. Usually it's because they don't know it happened. And as a result, they look at our history and everything in our country, right up to just, innocent pastimes like cricket, and they decide to name everything as guilty. And, you could do this to everyone and to everything, but most civilizations and cultures don't behave like this because most of them aren't just masochistic. And
exactly. Most civilization don't behave like this. This is what I'm saying. How many times do you see debates on TV from what Asian groups do you know that sit there crying about slavery all day long? What Irish groups and that, apart from that fucking idiot one, are alright, but they're just terrorists. They're just fucking different. They're on a different planet. To me, they're a bit like the fucking BLM. BLM and terrorists dressed up nicely. And no one wants to say shit to them in case they come across racist. BLM, don't speak for me. Black Lives Matters. Bitch. Every life matters. I couldn't give a fuck. If I saw someone outside injured, I don't care what colour they are, I'm going to go and help them. I'm not going to look and think, oh, they're black, so their lives matters more. And I'm pretty sure a lot of white people have saved my life. Mad, innit? In fact, you know what? Didn't I know food weekend? It was a white girl that saved my fucking life by feeding me and my kids. Mad, innit? Do you think she done it because it was that her way of saying, sorry for the slavery? I know I was only born in 1980, Sham. And I know my family committed slavery back in the day. And we ain't been through the genealogy of the DNA. But I'm pretty sure, because I got blonde hair. Oh my gosh, as a black person, if a white person come up to me and apologise for the slavery, I'd fucking slap you. No, don't embarrass me. I'm like, bitch, what did you just say? That's more fucking racist than fucking. Listen, just call me a nigga and let's just stick to the whole facts. I ain't got time for that shit. I ain't got time for your pretense about apologizing. So, hold on. So, imagine how many black people there is in the world. So does every white person have to stand there, yeah, like every Tuesday or something, and say, Shams, I'm sorry. Jamal, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Shakila, I'm sorry. Tanika, I'm sorry, because all white. Derek, I'm sorry. Like, serious. And then all the black people, you're going to line up and go, thank you. Thank you. Thanks. I know, I can feel it. I can feel the love. I can feel it for me, babes. Get a fucking grip. Get a grip.
So self-hating.
All right, Paula, your response to that?
Here we go.
I agree with Douglas about the fact that we don't know enough. He's absolutely right. We don't know enough, and it's important that we do.
Here's a girl wearing white people's clothes. Yeah, that's a white designer's clothes, Chanel. What else? Pretty sure that your makeup's done by white people. Oh, what's the country called that you hate? America and Britain. Okay, isn't that white people's land? That's what you said. Then on top of that, even though you hate the land that you're living in, because they should all apologise to you. Do you get where I'm coming from, people? How fucking ridiculous this is. It's a stupid waste, girl. Embarrassment.
So understanding the hurt and pain that were caused, not just about the good things. It's not just about the cherry picking. And wrongs are not about being masochistic. Saying sorry is not a bad thing. Saying sorry is actually a very empowering thing to do.
Why does it matter that a bunch of royals now get forced into...
Let me rewind now. I was just looking at the workmen outside, looking to dig up my yard. I don't think you fucking are.
Absolutely right. We don't know enough, and it's important that we do. But part of the knowledge is also understanding the hurt and pain that were caused.
What
not just about the good things. It's not just about the cherry picking. And wrongs are not about...
Oh no, there's going to be black people on my channel going, you're a salad, you don't understand. Shut the fuck up, yeah. Name every time someone's been racist what you actually done about it. I'm telling you, when someone was racist to me, yeah, it's probably happened about twice in my life because I don't fucking allow that shit. I shut it fucking down. I don't sit there smiling like a dumbass bitch and then play victim. Yeah? You be racist to me, I'll be fucking racist to you, mate. I'll put you in your fucking place, and on top of that, I'll be racist to your whole fucking family. And I'll say more things on top to hurt you. Because words are a weapon. It's one of the strongest weapons on earth, remember that? Do you know what I mean? But for her, listen to this shit that it comes out with. It comes out with British words. I don't mean no fucking black words here made up. And I speaking no black language, you're speaking a white man's language. While hating them.
Being masochistic. Saying sorry is not a bad thing. Saying sorry is actually a very empowering thing to do.
Why does it matter that a bunch of royals now get forced into issuing grovelling apology? Who cares? How does it change anything? It doesn't do anything in my estimation to impact on current
Oh, Piers, let us chat. He wears them there.
It doesn't really make any difference.
We know.
Institutional racism, as we've seen in
Shut up, Piers.
Society. I don't know what difference it makes. It might make people feel a bit better.
Piers, here's the thing. This is what difference it does make, yeah. Being a black person. Like I says, if you have a bunch of fucking vultures over there and a fucking sheep, which one's going to get bullied? That's how it feels, Piers. There has been a lot of times, yeah, when white people do look the fucking nose down at me. There's been a lot of times when white people come up to me, coming out with bullshit about, I'm not racist because my cousin's black. What the fuck's that got to do with the fucking slice of bread? On a real. Now you saw I'm racist, coming out with that crap. That's one thing I'm going to tell every white person. Don't ever go up to a black person and say that fucking shit. Because straight away, we will always think you're a racist idiot. On a real. That ain't a lie. We just like, did you just come out with that? Like, what the fuck? Why are you even bringing up my colour? Obviously, like, does my darkness, does this dark entity block your eye colour, the sun or something? So yeah, Piers, there is people that do get it bad. In America, it's completely different. In America, you got the fucking backwards people. We all know who I'm on about. You know, them fucking idiots in the back of town. And you get the fucking posh ones. The posh ones that don't really know much. You know what I mean? All you gotta do, like, what you think them saying sorry is doing what? Well, they just fucking educate them, get them in the fucking ghetto, yeah, around black people. And black people don't make them feel frightened. Because black people, they want white people to respect them while they're sitting there spitting in their fucking faces. Who the fuck's gonna respect you? Yeah, when you're making them feel shit. Think about it. So, Piers Morgan sometimes does my fucking head in. I can see it. I don't get racism around here much. You know what I mean? We got better. In Britain, it's more about fucking class and money. In America, it's racism because I do blame 50% of it on black people crying like bitches. Don't sit there telling me about slave days when you fucking waste man. He's got like 10 fucking baby mothers. He ain't looked after none of the fucking 9 baby mothers or the kids. But you fucking him, and then you're gonna blame white people because you chose the shit life. So everything shit that happens in your fucking life is because of racism. The only fucking racism I can see, really, in America that makes it look bad, coming from a British black person that lived in Jamaica, the only fucking shit I could see, really, yeah, is the police. You know what I mean? And like the backwards people. That's all I can say. But then again, I'm going to call a lot of the black people from the ghetto backwards. You want people to respect you and all that. And you're trying to fucking frighten people. You're trying to frighten them into respecting you. That ain't going to help you, love. Do you know what I mean? Respect works both ways. You don't want to understand why people. You just want to talk about you, me, myself, and fucking do it behind and say I.
But so what?
See, I don't agree with you, surprise, surprise. I do think it makes a difference. I do think it makes a difference that people in power...
Knowledge, yes.
...to acknowledge pain.
I do agree with that.
I think it's important that people in power have taken the time...
Whose pain and hurt are you talking about? It's not people living today. These are going back hundreds of years in some cases, these crimes of slavery and so on. We all agree.
That's how I feel. I know that things are still going on, but like I said, slavery to me, in them days, you know, if you got to look at it as in when you're working for someone, yeah? Listen, hear me out. When you're working for someone, you're going to get good employees and bad ones. But when I'm thinking about slavery, that ain't slavery to me. That's trafficking. Trafficking. When did the word change? All right, Joe. When did the words change from slavery to trafficking? Because that's basically what it is. Let's just be real. And if you want to talk about that, if you be realistic, if you want to talk about that, yeah, why are you chatting Black Lives Matters about the trafficking that's going on now? What is it?
We all know this. I don't think...
It's racist just to say Black Lives Matter. You should really say all lives matter. I better hurry up because my battery's dying.
Where the apology talk ends. What's the end game?
So the end game is about the ability to understand the true history, not just the part of history that we have been taught. And that is the difficulty. So you're talking about who's the apology for. Well, the apology is for me. The apology is for those who have suffered. The apology is for those who continue
have you
to struggle
suffered?
through colonialism and through slavery.
Have you suffered? I suffer more than that.
We apologise for the part we...
All right, so
shit hole I'm living in.
when is enough enough? If we all say sorry today, hang on.
The British government, when is enough enough to repay, to compensate slave owners?
So if we all say sorry today, well, that's my question to you, and you're not answering it.
When
my point is,
if we all
say sorry today, it was terrible, which we all know.
Yeah.
Can we then say, right, that's done. We're going to look forwards. We're going to be positive. We're going to
Are we going
celebrate
to say
our
sorry?
achievements,
Who says
learn from
sorry?
our failures, and we're done with apologising.
Absolutely. And so how are we going to learn from our failures if we do not understand what we did wrong?
You learn from your failures because that's what we're doing at the moment. The sort of report you had
How do you learn from your failures if you don't know what you did?
She wants an apology. From who? From who? I don't get this shit. You want every white person on God's earth to line up and say sorry because you're black and you suffered in the past. That's embarrassing, man. Fuck off. Don't put me in that bowl.
The cricket board,
They're not embarrassed black people like that.
They reported. Some of it was good, some of it
Dehumanising me.
criticise or question. The point is, we've learned from that. We're moving on. We're celebrating. We're being positive. Otherwise,
how have we learned?
I tell you what it does. It depresses everybody. It leads to a perception of decline.
I'm depressed
I think what
listening.
it does. I want to bring in Lee Greenwood here, who's a big country star in America, and he wrote "God Bless USA," one of the great anthems celebrating the United States. It's July 4th. Obviously, as I said at the start here, Lee, we don't celebrate it with quite such enthusiasm this side of the pond. We sort of take a view that Mad King George dropped the ball a bit, but...
Oh, shut up about King George. What did he do?
Celebrate. You wrote this great anthem, really, for your country. Can we be proud of our country anymore? Or is there kind of this desire to feel this terrible regret about everything and apology for everything? Does that mar the pride? How do you feel?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say the people that I run with and talk to, and believe me, I tour across America all the time. We do 140, 50 days a year, every doghouse, outhouse, and roundhouse. And I talk to the American public. They listen to what I say, listen to what I sing. I happen to be a country music performer, but I was born in California, spent 20 years in Nevada. I live in the South now. And I wrote this song because it was for unity. It's a unity and for military sacrifice. And yeah, America started as an interesting expedition, then an experiment, and we fought it out. We fought each other in the Civil War and said, okay, we're going to bury the hatchet here. The trouble is, as we move forward, a lot of people try to change history. I'm okay with history. I'm okay with apologizing for what happened back then.
I ain't. Keep your fucking apology.
Let's move forward. Let's move on past that, and let's not change history and try to change what happened.
I don't even know what you're apologising for, because to be fair, history's boring. And I studied it. It's fucking boring.
Of our great countries, both America and United Kingdom, two of the greatest countries in the world. It's almost like every day now, somebody somewhere, normally on the left, the woke left, is queuing up to find a reason to hate the countries and their history.
Trying to charge my phone, Piers.
Well, it's a kind of grievance competition. Your guest earlier just tried to engage in it. I don't know what hurt she believes she's had from slavery. All of this was addressed 2 centuries ago.
Yeah,
what has consequences.
He's right. What slavery she had? Bitch has got more money than all of us put together. Is dressed up into the 9s, yeah. It ain't coming to African garms and none of that fucking shit. Like, the two-facedness of it. It's fucking hypocrisy. It's just ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It comes on with big fucking words. Iraq's 90% fucking white. Yeah? And then it chats about black power. What a fucking retard. You couldn't make this shit up. It's got to be a comedy sketch. It's got to be. I swear, there's laughing. It gets paid just to chat shit. I could do that all day long.
That engaged in the slave trade who are simply not interested in any form of reparations. The Ottoman Empire, all the Arab countries who not just traded far more slaves than across the Atlantic, but castrated all the men so that there wouldn't be any more African slaves after them. They worked them to the bone. I see no interest across Africa in paying reparations for selling their brother and sister Africans into slavery or for working them to the bone to the present day. There is slavery across Africa today. In fact, there are more slaves in the world today than there were at the height of the transatlantic slave trade. So some of us are simply a bit bored of hearing people ripping at closed wounds and then crying about their hurt or their presumed hurt. Because everybody could do this. 1 million Europeans were stolen by North Africans over the course of decades of the North African Barbary pirate slave trade. Where would you end if you did that? The answer is you couldn't end, because nobody is alive who has actually suffered the hurt, and nobody is alive who did the wrong. And I'd make one other point, if I may. It's always the countries that people want to come to who are put through this struggle session.
Thank you.
Britain, like America and France, are the most desired destinations for migrants worldwide, and have been for centuries.
But the racist.
Why is that? It's not because we're racist, it's because we're better. It's because we're good. It's because when we see racism, we actually call it out and recognize it as a sin. Try finding that across Africa. Try finding that across the Middle East.
I got on that bit there, that last bit, when he says try finding that across Africa. In fact, to be fair, I'm going to say a lot of the African people I've met, because I'm Jamaican, I do find it different. African and island girls are different. But I find African people are more traditional than island girls. Island girls are more westernized, like me. Do you know what I mean? That's just the truth. They don't admit it, but it's the truth. But I find that Africans can be friendly. They don't... It's more island girls that are sitting there, or more Americanized black people that are sitting there crying about... Like, when they're rich, they ain't bothered about the racism. You know what I mean? Unless they got rich through moaning about racism. And they know for a fucking fact, or for the people that they're manipulating through guilt, because that's what it is. You're trying to guilt trip someone. It's like me saying to my next door neighbour, well, I can't say to that one because they're African and they're mixed race. But it's like me telling my BFF, couple of doors down, Adela, because he's got blonde hair, blue eyes. He's got to apologise to me. And then Della's mom, and then Della's son's only what? Our Alfie's 10 years old. Shout out to Alfie! He's 10 years old. He's my biggest fan. And like he's saying, don't watch my shows because it's not for adults, for children, babes. It's going to hurt your ears. But anyway, am I supposed to have, like, does Della have to apologise every time she sees a black person? Does she have to walk past them and go, I'm really sorry? Sorry for what? You know, like in the past, when more people... I mean, that's racist within itself. More people. You know, when they was treating y'all lot like slaves. I just want to say, I felt sorry. So, oh my gosh. Imagine the stupid fuckery, stupidity in this. As a black person, or an Asian person, or... would you take it? And as a white person that has suffered racism, because I know people think white people don't. I know. Reality doesn't eat people in real. Even black people suffer racism amongst their own. If you're light-skinned and you're black or mixed race, they're going to call you out, the darker skinned ones. If you're dark-skinned, you're too black. There's always one, the darkest in the group, that they're going to be like calling some fucking name. And there's always the light one that they're giving the side bombastic side eye, like, thinking all that because you're light skinned. That's why the black people are racist. And then I've got Asian friends. Yeah, I've got Muslims and Sikhs and Hindus. They fucking hate each other. On the real. They fucking hate each other. You got one saying that their fucking culture's better than the other. And you know, that colour's a bit darker than the other. That's the truth. I've heard it all. And then I've heard white people telling me about when they was growing up. I've got a lot of older friends. And surprisingly, they went through racism. I've got Irish friends that was in Britain. And you know what they said in the 70s, yeah? In the pubs and clubs, shit like that. Even to this day, some of them, not all of them, but they do have this little rule. I know there's one down the road, and I was only allowed in it about 10 years ago. I went down there, and it's only because of the Ex-in-laws, yeah, because they ain't racist, my ex-in-laws, at all, I'm not going to lie. What? There's a club down there, and the ex-owners, they didn't want black people in there. That's the truth. There was a place up there, Princess End, and there was a fucking racist pub. And from the age of 7, when I got adopted and I come to England, we got warned, you don't go there. Do you know what I mean? It's changed now over time. But back in them days, nah. You wasn't allowed in the pub. There was no black people allowed in the pub. And in the 70s and in the 80s, they said no dogs, no blacks, and no Irish. Irish are mainly white. Do you know what I mean? But nobody thinks of that. When you look in America, how many fucking Irish people? Even when you look at like Mexicans, French, Italian, everyone's had slavery. It's a subject that people don't want to talk about. And they don't talk the reality. Everyone plays victim. But you know what? Everyone's been fucked over. Don't matter what colour you are, depends on what era you was and what fucking country you lived in and who was fucking running it at the time that was slaving you off. And let's not call it slavery, yeah. Let's just call it trafficking, because that's what we call it today. It was trafficking. Slavery is what I call the people in McDonald's earning like fucking £5, £6, $7, whatever, to fucking get shouted at. That's slavery. Slavery is when you see the fucking Uber drivers picking someone up for 50 fucking cents. What the fuck's that for? That's slavery. Yeah, that's bad employment. See you later, Lex. Good luck at school. It's my daughter going to school. Hold on. Love you. See you later. Fucking hell. My face again. That girl scares me. It's like, she never smiles. She's just quiet and nice and just looks like, fucking hell, smile. We call her Wednesday Addams in the family. No lie, let's carry on with this shit. Sorry, I was spitballing then, innit? Standard.
Middle East or in China, nobody would hear. So what we have is a situation where the more virtuous countries are presented as the worst countries. It's sick, and most of us are tired of it.
Thank you, Douglas.
Ooh.
I am so sorry that Douglas is bored by the pain.
He didn't say that.
That's not what he said.
Through slavery.
He didn't say.
I'm
He
so
didn't say.
tired.
But what you're doing there, what you're doing, yeah, but hang on, Paula. Paula, you're being very disingenuous. That's not what he said.
I am.
The viewers
Yeah.
aren't stupid. They know exactly what he said. He's not saying he's bored by the pain. He's saying, and I think it's a perfectly
He's
valid
bored
point.
and you keep banging on about it.
People who are alive today are claiming they're suffering.
Well,
What
what
happened to
are you
us over
suffering
years?
from?
It's not a real pain. They're not the ones who suffered what was going on 200 years ago.
So, in terms of justice,
Does she look like she's
I
suffering?
think we'd all agree that there
Well,
should
I'm
be
not
justice.
suffering from when the Normans invaded
we'd
this
all
country.
agree.
I'm not suffering from what my ancestors went through.
I noticed
Or
that
from
I've
the-
not been allowed to respond.
But hang on,
I
or
noticed
from
it
the Romans.
is-
In other words,
I am
when you
suffering.
take this, should I now be
Well, I can
feeling
take you
pain
to
from what the Romans
2015.
did to us?
I'm
In terms of
suffering from what the
slavery, I can take you to
government's putting me through. No
2015.
fucking money.
Slave owners were compensated by the government, so I can take it to that
But when
extent.
is your personal pain?
I can
We're
say to
compensated
you-
by the government.
I can say to
You know, this bitch
that
is
I
wired
don't think
wrong.
that apologising is a bad thing. I think that apologising for a wrong is a good thing. I think that the Dutch royal family have done a fantastic thing in acknowledging
I think it'll
what
make.
has,
All right.
what has gone
Okay, I
wrong
hear you.
in
But I honestly
society.
think it'll make no difference at all.
Thank fuck I'm black. No offense, I'll tell you why. So you can't see me going red with embarrassment for this dumbass bitch. On that note, that's my reaction. I ain't got time to listen to fucking idiots like that. Here's a suggestion. When you wake up in the morning, don't listen to debates. It will make your day shit. Wake up in the morning, listen to something elevating As my next door neighbour is a teacher. I got a bank of a teacher and everything living next to me. And he's me, the fucking influencer, and I ain't influencing much. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, people. Tell me what your thoughts are on racism. Be real. It doesn't matter whether you disagree with me or not. We've all had to have this talk. Do you know what I mean? And I do acknowledge there is racism in the world, but I find it's everywhere. And if the first thing a black person, I can only speak as a black person. I can't speak for white people. I can't speak for Asian. Well, I can be because of my color. But I don't know. Maybe it's because of the family I was brought up in. We were mixed. We didn't give a shit about what colour you was. It's more about your personality, really. Do you know what I mean? Even the culture. Nothing matters. I don't get people. Why does it matter? Why do you want an apology? And if you hate these forward countries, why don't you go to a country that has never sold a slave? And when you find one, I'll give you £1 million fucking pounds. And I'll tell you what, I ain't got £1 million. So what's that telling you? On that note, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to press the like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the video if you think it's interesting. You can do little clips. You don't have to share the whole lot. Have a fabulous Tuesday, everybody. See you later.